What's up? What's happening? Welcome to Texas State Brazil Friday Night Hits. Week 2 tonight. Several standout programs competing in non-region games. More than 20 highlights to get to, including our game of the week. Dorman hosting Greenwood. It was an incredible game, an overtime thriller, and we will have that from Chase Justice in just a moment. But while we wait for our game of the week, let's turn to one of the great rivalries in the upstate, the Electric City Showdown. It is always electric when Teal Hanna and Westside get together. Rams have won the past 3 against their crosstown rival, but it's Hanna had 21-13 in the second quarter, tacking on Jalen Watson. Easy does it. Hanna extends the lead to 28-13. Third quarter, Hanna's Brock Cole front porch score, and the Yellow Jackets snap the skid against Westside 49-20. Daniel coming off its first home loss since 2018, right back in Central against JL Man tonight. No score. First quarter, Jace Grass, Trey Wimbley on the bubble screen, couple blocks, couple shed tackles, and he's got Grass to cleave 72 yards. Touchdown, Daniel, and they get the 31-14 win over JL Man. A couple of 1-1 Greenville County teams taking it on in Greenville tonight. Riverside visiting Christchurch. Cavs, first drive, 3rd and 14 in the red zone. Judd Wyndham to Anthony Atkins. They needed 14. They get 14 down at the 1. Michael Martin plunges in from there. Great game, though, right down to the wire. Christchurch ends up kicking a 35-yard field goal. They get the win 37-35 over Riverside. Gaffney's Donnie Littlejohn, Greenville Scoot Watson, each getting their first win as head coaches at their respective schools last Friday. Gaffney coming down to Serene tonight. Banks Boughton, former Greenville quarterback, now making plays at Gaffney. First quarter, Greenville's got a 3-0 lead. Gaffney starts the third hot. Josiah Hill muscling his way in for 6. They go on top 7-3. Then Boughton getting into the action, plunging in. Gaffney up 14-3 at that juncture, but Greenville, they're not done. They get one back to start the fourth quarter, and with 1:23 to play, Trip Bryant finds Arquise Shell. A great 30-yard catch puts the Raiders in the red zone, and with 23 seconds on the clock, it's Bryant finding Jaden Rice in the corner of the end zone. What a grab for Greenville. The Red Raiders storm all the way back for a 17-14 win over Gaffney. How about the Red Raiders? Woodruff riding an hour south to Emerald. Vikes and Wolverines each 2-0. Emerald leading in the first. Bo Height launches to Jordan Porter. He's going to take it the remainder. It's 15-0 Vikings at that point. They'd get another touchdown in the second. Emerald led 22-0. But here comes Woodruff. Connor Davis, the quarterback, keeping it. Cuts the deficit to 8. The Wolverines score 42 unanswered. They rally to move to 3-0 with a 42-22 win over Emerald. The reigning 2A champion Clinton Red Devils rolled to a 5th straight win over Lawrence last week, taking on Newberry at home. Bulldogs came to play. Kenton Caldwell into the end zone. This is a big night for the Bulldogs. Newberry goes into Clinton, and they beat the reigning champs 41-12. I'll show you a few scores from around the area tonight. Dixie on top of Southside 34-14. Seneca beating West Oak 47-0. And Polk and Blue Ridge playing tonight. The Fighting Tigers get a 35-19 win over Polk County. Chase beating Blacksburg 28-20. Feeling like the 2000s again down in Ware Shoals. The Fighting Hornets scored the game-winning touchdown with a minute to go last week for their first win over 96 since 2009 to move to 2-0 for their best start since 2005. What a job Chris Dodson is doing there in year 3 for the Hornets. Hosting Landrum 2-0 under new head coach Mike Reed. Hornets buzzing early. Tyrell Cunningham. You need anything, he's stopping by the corner store. Where Shoals strikes first, 6-0 Hornets. Now it's a 6-6 ball game in the quarter. Later in the quarter, check out Braylon Revis. Somehow keeps his balance. He's gone. Cards go on top. How about Ware Shoals? 20-12 over Landrum. The Hornets now 3-0. Shootout brewing at Powdersville. Patriots scoring 35.5 a game. Wren averaging 46. Crazy finish here. Fourth quarter, Wren down 9. Muntu Brown plunges in. Hurricanes within 2. Under 4 minutes to go. More Muntu rumbling deep into Patriots territory. Look at this guy go. And he's going to cap off the drive a short time later with a go-ahead touchdown run. 29-26 Hurricanes with 1:15 to play. Final seconds. Powdersville in the red zone. Keegan Reed throwing up a prayer, and it bounces off one set of hands into Bennett Brooks's for the touchdown. Powdersville wins a wild one, 33-29 over the Golden Hurricanes. Sky 4 over Simpsonville. Hillcrest at home against Greer. Pick it up in the second quarter. Hillcrest Jackson Free is calling his own number, and he's going to take it down the field there for a long rumbling play. And this is sorry, doesn't look like we got the right game there. We might have had a little mix-up with what got sent where. That appears to be Malden and Fountain Inn. We'll have highlights from that one coming up here in a little bit. But as we get to halftime, we have hit halftime of Texas State Brazil Friday Night Hits, putting on more steam for the second half. But first, it's mic'd up with Mountain View Prep's Gray Ramsey.
He's going to go back out wide right here. Throw your hands up. Throw your hip into him. Bend, but don't break. Let's go. Bow your neck right here. Let's go. Where's our eyes need to be? We got what we want. You got to bring him over here because there's no dead play. The play exists. All 3 blocks you had right there, that's an awesome job by you. Think through the situation. You know what you're about to get here.
All right, ladies, thank you. Mountain View Prep playing its home games this year at NGU, hosting St. Joe's tonight. Picking up second quarter. Stars quarterback Mac Anderson faking the handoff, and oh yeah, he's going to keep it 17 yards out. Oh, making that miss as well on his way to the end zone. Set a 14-0 MVP at that point, and they get a big-time win over St. Joe's. That's an interception there by A.J. McAllister. He's going deep the other way, and Mountain View gets a 66-27 win over St. Joe's. All right, turning back to our game of the week presented by Blue Ridge Electric. Dorman and Greenwood needing overtime tonight. Chase Justice, he's got all the highlights.
Step foot inside Cavalier Stadium. Our Week 2 game of the week, the Dorman Cavs playing host to the Greenwood Eagles. Greenwood wastes no time getting going, driving the length of the field on the opening possession. Jay Duncan sets up shop in the back of the end zone. Eagles strike first and strike quick, up 7-0. But the Cavaliers would answer later in the first. Nick Means straight up the gut, 18 yards to the house. That's his 7th score of the season. We're all tied up at 7-7. Fast forward all the way to the start of the fourth quarter. We're all tied up 27-all. Nick Means cuts back across the field and finds the end zone, his 3rd score of the game. Makes it 35-27 Dorm. Just 10 seconds left to play. Tristan Lewis buying time, looking for the deep ball. 56 yards to Desiree Christian. He comes down with it inbounds. We head to overtime, all tied up at 35-all. 3rd and goal from the 3. Tristan Lewis straight to the pylon. Eagles take a 42-35 lead. Cavaliers not going down without a fight. Nick Means finds pay dirt once again. Dorman makes it a 1-point game. Cavaliers need the extra point to send it into double overtime, and it would be wide left. Greenwood shocks the Dorman Cavaliers, outlasting the Cavs on the road by a final score of 42-41.
Our guys are really proud that they are from Greenwood, and so am I. And super proud of the Greenwood fans that were here tonight. Super proud of our kids and our coaches for just finding a way to get it done. Well, that was one heck of a high school football game.
Now Dorman will get the upcoming week off before opening up region play against Riverside, while the Greenwood Eagles will soar back to the nest for a home date against the Lexington Wildcats. In Roebuck, I'm Chase Justice, WYFF News 4 Sports.
Chase, thank you. Some kind of win for Greenwood. Let's keep it rolling. Texas State Brazil Friday Night Hit. Southside Christian home for the 3rd week in a row, taking on AC Flora. Let's show you the highlights. Sabres trailing 21-0 in the second quarter. Student section, they're still showing out. Just nothing doing, though, for the Sabres offensively. Max Bright brought down by Flora's Nasir Walker, and Flora gets a 41-6 win over Southside Christian. The Devil Dogs went down to Williamston looking for a win against Palmetto. Scoreless in the second. Preston Garreau finding some room, and he's going to take it all the way down inside the 5-yard line for TR. He'd pay it off with a touchdown on the very next play. He even kicked the extra point. This one all about the Devil Dogs. 35-0 over Palmetto. Chapman lost a 1-point heartbreaker last week, traveling to 1-1 Boiling Springs. Bulldogs bulldozed in the first half, 35-0 in the third. Chapman's Bryson Cothran finds Caden St. Charles, but the ball's punched out. Tyvian Hill taking it back the other way for the scoop and score. Boiling Springs shuts out Chapman 56-0. A couple of big wins for Belton Honeypath to kick off the season, taking on Lawrence tonight. Bears seeking a 3-0 start for the 4th year in a row, and off to a good start here against the Raiders. 21-3 in the third. Lawrence kicks off to B.J. Anderson. Special teams, special plays, special players. Anderson 65 yards onto their side of the territory. That puts BHP in range to score. Cam Robinson would cap off the drive with 6, and BHP gets a 43-10 win over Lawrence. Casby putting some miles on the bus tonight at Walhalla into the second quarter. Eagles up 6-0 with the ball. 4th down and 20. Evan Reese-Lauder throwing up a prayer. Braylon Blanton somehow comes down with it. Eagles led 13-0 at halftime, and they get a 33-6 win over Walhalla. Eyes in the sky over Fountain Inn. Massive win for Malden last week, taking on the Fury. And Fountain Inn Sam Holiday with the fake. He keeps it. This is a nice play here for Fountain Inn. This was a hard-fought game. Our friends from InVision, the students there at Fountain Inn, they sent us some highlights of the second half of this game as Malden comes back to get a 21-16 win over Fountain Inn. Abbeville in the Midlands aiming to avenge their only loss from a year ago against Batesburg-Leesville. Abbeville's Medarius Burton taking the handoff for a nice gain, and just a couple plays later, it's going to be Jaden Baylor looking for Darius Riley, finding Darius Riley for the Abbeville touchdown. They avenged their only loss from a season ago, 23-15 over Batesburg-Leesville. Spartanburg opening the season with back-to-back losses against defending state champs, going for win number 1 against Broome. Centurion's awesome overtime win over rival Chesney a week ago, but they're getting a dialed-in Vikings team from the very first snap. Well, that doesn't look like these highlights at all. This is a totally different game. That's Easley, and Easley ended up getting the win there, and sometimes it happens. It do be like that live TV, folks. You're watching highlights from the Easley win as they take on Wade Hampton, but Easley ultimately getting a win over Wade Hampton. Let's keep on going. Who knows what the next game in the highlight's going to be? We're hoping it's Woodmont and Pendleton. It is, in fact, Woodmont and Pendleton. No score. First quarter, scoreless no longer. Devontae Taylor. Woodmont strikes from 5 yards out. Wildcats go up 7-0 and they end up getting a win here over Pendleton for the first win under new Woodmont head coach Malcolm Boyd. Liberty and Pickens picked up their first win of the fall last week. Liberty leading 35-10 in the third. Jamaje Karam right on the goal line punches it in. Liberty gets a 42-17 win over Pickens. We'll try and do better next week. Same time, same place. We'll have all the highlights in correct order this time coming up for you in the morning as well. That'll do it for us. Enjoy your week.